UFC 321 went down last night, and there's a few things to talk about. The eye poke from Gane. Gane piecing up Tom Aspinall at the start. Tom Aspinall may be looking for a way out. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened last night for Tom Aspinall. 15 months outside the cage, comes in here and gets eye poked. Double eye pokes, by the way, by Ciryl Gane. It was not a good look for Tom Aspinall out there, I've got to be honest. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about heading into this fight. Tom, as you can see here to my side by Tapology, a heavy favourite, a minus 400 favourite, considering to Ciryl Gane, who's had so many professional kickboxing and Muay Thai bouts, standing-wise, Ciryl Gane was going to be able to hold his own. That was undoubtedly, that was never in question. Tom Aspinall was quick. Ciryl Gane is quick. And we saw that last night. The jab of Ciryl Gane was on point. It was not missing. You saw that at the end of the fight. Tom Aspinall was bloodied, not looking himself. The double eye poke, it was bad. 2 fingers, one in one eye, one in the other eye. It was definitely unintentional. Obviously, it was unintentional. I don't think Ciryl Gane would go in there looking for an intentional eye poke. That is never in question. What I think it gave Tom Aspinall, I wouldn't say it gave him a way out, but there was an opportunity that presented itself looking at what is at stake, by the way. A heavyweight championship, a lot of money on the line in this one. I'm not saying Tom Aspinall was thinking of that, but would he rather continue that fight 50% with one eye, by the way? Michael Bisping is probably looking at this thinking, now you know how I feel, but with one eye heading into that, restart the fight 50%, or does he take the no contest and come again and go 100% into the rematch? That's exactly what I think going through Tom Aspinall's mind. He says, all right, okay, we let this one slide. We allow them to boo me out the arena because of the eye poke, and we take the no contest from Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane ultimately pissed. Tom Aspinall pissed as well. We saw that in the post-fight interview after the fight. DC getting a mic straight into his face after he'd been poked in the face. He was undoubtedly pissed, and we saw that. This was a terrible look for Tom Aspinall all round. Even the week before, it was terrible. His dad going out there saying he's got 3 more fights left on his contract, and he doesn't want him to sign a new one. He wants him to go on to box. That's probably why Dana White is crazy and mad in the post-fight press conference and slandering Tom Aspinall's name and being angry, saying that he thought that Tom Aspinall did not want to continue. That was his words, not mine. I feel like Tom Aspinall found in his head a better option for the rematch, because if he continued at 50% with one eye and potentially got knocked out by Ciryl Gane, it would have been terrible. It would have been worse. In my head, if that fight continued to round 2, round 3, round 4, the way the fight was swinging, I think we have a new champion. I really do. Ciryl Gane was looking impeccable. That, the distance control, the lateral movement from side to side, the jab bloodied the nose of Tom Aspinall. It was a terrible look for Tom Aspinall at the end of the fight, and that's what we've got to look at. Ultimately, is Tom Aspinall a heavy favourite? As you can see here, the heavy favourite that he was in this fight, is he the heavy favourite again in the rematch? Absolutely not, in my opinion. I think this is a pick and fight. Tom Aspinall needs to go back to the drawing boards and reevaluate what he needs to do heading into this fight. And I think the biggest takeaway from this fight, for me, in my opinion, is the 15 months outside the cage, waiting desperately for that Jon Jones fight. I know he got told by the UFC that was going to happen. So therefore, ultimately, not his fault. However, he was 15 months outside the cage, and I think that played its part inside the octagon last night. Tom Aspinall, chin up, getting tagged. The jab of Ciryl Gane was not missing. That was the biggest takeaway for me. The 15 months out of the cage was not good for Tom Aspinall. And I'm a big Tom Aspinall fan. Being British, it's hard not to root for Tom Aspinall. our heavyweight champion of the world, our baddest man on the planet. It was hard to root for him last night, though. It was a fight that could not have gone any worse for Tom Aspinall. The rematch, how does it all play out? When does it all play out? That is needs. To, we'll find that out soon. What is the damage? What is the ultimate, damage from the Aspinall eye? There's a lot of people saying, Anthony Lionheart Smith. He said that fight is fight. They get off their stool, whether they want to fight or not. They tell the doctor that they want to continue, whether they can see or not. And I agree to that statement to a certain point. He, once upon a time, in a fight with Jon Jones, got got kneed into the face, and he got up and he rose to the occasion and he continued. And ultimately, he lost that night. So therefore, in my opinion, Tom Aspinall's done the right thing because he's got poked in both eyes. The right one seems to be more worse. Obviously, he's holding on that one. But the right one seems to be, worse than the left one. But if he steps back into that fight without that eye, 50%, and loses the Ciryl Gane, loses his heavyweight championship, he'll be forgotten about. The eye poke will be forgotten about. Tom Aspinall just lost. He potentially got knocked out. I think it might have led that way, to be honest with you. How good and slick Gane was looking on the feet. It would have been a terrible look for Tom Aspinall. So in my opinion, I feel like he'd done the right thing. He got back up. He said to the doctor that I can't see because of what's riding at stake, the heavyweight championship of the world, the money, everything that, lies into it. I think Tom Aspinall did the right thing of saying, I can't see, I can't continue. He'll come into the rematch 100%. But what I took away from that first round with Ciryl Gane and Tom Aspinall last night, I am confident that Ciryl Gane comes into this rematch and does sort of the same things, that unless Tom Aspinall fixes head movement, everything. So Ciryl Gane was looking fantastic on the feet. And that's the question I beg to differ. Can Tom Aspinall change the ways of how he approached his first fight and go into the second fight the way he looked? Ciryl Gane was looking fantastic, slick on the feet, as I've mentioned. Aspinall said heading into this fight that he doesn't understand why he's the bigger, the bigger favorite. And he said everything that Gane does, I do. And it was picture on picture, basically, a mirror on mirror. And that's exactly what we looked like. Gane looked 2 steps ahead, 1 step, 2 steps ahead. It was fantastic. Ciryl Gane really, other than the unintentional eye poke and the severity of it, I don't think he put a foot wrong last night. I think he was looking really, really good. And I believe he was on his way to victory. I think if the fight continues, round 2, round 3, round 4, I think we see a new champion. I think France has a new champion. And there is no doubt in my mind that would have happened. The card itself was a little bit lackluster. We had a few good moments. The head kick, Nasrat Haqparast getting absolutely starched and out for a few minutes. The co-main event, Mackenzie Dern obviously becoming the new champion, as we can scroll down here, in a decision. It was a close fight. Fight that probably fans won't want to see again. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. That was good. That was a fantastic fight. High action, MMA, technicality was shown in this fight. Umar getting dropped, coming back, showing his durability. Is he ready for another title shot? Merab Dvalishvili, though, that remains to be seen. And I am unsure. We need to see a little bit more from Umar. Maybe a few more fights for when he gets that next title shot at Merab Dvalishvili. Alexander Volkov getting the split decision versus Jailton Almeida. I feel like the judges did Volkov right in this fight. After his last fight, he didn't get a decision against Ciryl Gane, a fight that he should have won, by the way. He goes into this fight against Jailton Almeida. Jailton was just looking to sit on him. Sit and lay. I don't want to say pray. He wasn't doing anything. No damage. Volkov was the one initiating the damage and the conflict, and he got the decision. A lot of people said it was controversial, But I think the judges did Volkov right in this fight. I think he deserved to win the fight. He probably didn't, you know, if you look at, Jailton had obviously had the control time, but the damage was on Jailton Almeida's side. Sorry, on Alexander Volkov's side. And that's what I think won him the fight. He was active from the bottom, submissions, elbows, hammer fists, you name it. The Russian was throwing it. It was fantastic. And I think the judge did him right. A lot of people said it was controversial. I think it was the correct call. Absolutely. Obviously, Alexander Rakic, a power jab, gets finished. That was the end of the fight. I don't know where Rakic goes from here, but I think the big story is Mazurkanov is an absolute savage. 16-0 now. He is looking like a real killer in the light heavyweight division. And like I mentioned earlier, Quinton Salkid, head kick against Nasrat Haqparast was a fantastic head kick. It was phenomenal. Put him out like a light. It was a bad image for a second. The way we were looking at it, Nasrat was face down, unconscious, not moving for a while. It was quite a scary scene there for a minute, but he came around. The one I want to point out was Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Delgado. And that for me, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, British, it's hard not to root for the British people. Nathaniel Wood, that first round, it was looking a bit tricky. The second round, the third round was also looking a bit tricky. The scorecards could have went the other way, could have went to Jose Delgado. And I think Nathaniel Wood complimented his opponent that night as well. After the fight, he said, to be honest, I felt like I could have went the other way. Jose Delgado has not lost any stock this night. His stock only goes up. He looks like a fantastic prospect, 145 pounds, only 27 years of age. It's only up for him. Back to the biggest takeaway though. Jon Jones gets involved and he mentions, I'm going to get up. We're going to talk about this. We are absolutely going to get this up. I just need to find the tweet. Jon Jones. Here we go. On Twitter, he says, unless he hasn't deleted it. He actually has deleted it. But his last tweet was, Alex, I'd be down to bring the highest skill level to the White House. I appreciate the respect you've shown. Let's dance. Absolutely disregarding what that fight was between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. I know there's a deleted tweet in here somewhere. There's got to be. But it was Jon Jones actually updated his picture as well and put the doc. It's everything that could have went wrong for Tommy Aspinall last night went wrong. It was a bad look. And as I mentioned, Dana White was saying after the fight in the post-fight press conference, like he usually does, he said that Aspinall did not want to continue. I just want to brush on that a little bit. I mentioned earlier, I feel like Aspinall wasn't looking for a way out, but there was a way out that presented itself, and what's at stake chose the the bigger option, the bigger picture of going 100% into the rematch and reevaluating and going again in the trainer camp and seeing what he did wrong and putting the mistakes and going again wherever that may be, Paris and in England, America, Dubai again. Let's see what happens next, but it has to be an immediate rematch for Ciryl Gane and Tom Aspinall. Has to be. There is no doubt in my mind that these two will run it back, and there's no doubt in my mind that Ciryl Gane will be less of an underdog heading into that second match because he put on a fantastic performance. Let's see what happens next. UFC 321 went down last night. A bit of a disaster in the main event. Tommy Aspinall looking for answers after the fight. Undoubtedly, the jab was fantastic from Ciryl Gane. A lot of people saying, it's just the jab. It was scoring. Undoubtedly, it was scoring. A lot of questions from Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane heading to the rematch. UFC 321 went down last night. It was fantastic. See you later.